arrested. One is still under police guard, the 18-year-old, and the other one, 16-year-old, is appearing in court this morning. Turning to the killing of police officers, the fight by our members is continuing to. Our members continue to fight crime, but at the same time, we have seen criminals that are resisting and trying all their way to fight our members. Since the start of the financial year, we've tragically lost 6 officers in the line of duty. These attacks are deeply painful and unacceptable. We remind members to never hesitate to defend themselves when they are confronted with danger, whether the danger is towards the attack is towards them or towards members of the society. They must defend them at all costs. We will be on the 7th of September 2025. As you are aware, we'll be commemorating those that have passed on. For the past financial year, we have 27 police officers who paid the ultimate price in service to the country, and they will be paying them respect. They will have police commemoration at the Union Building, which most of you do attend. But we are also continuing through the South African Police Service Education Trust Fund, commonly known as Saps, to support members of the service that have passed on to the line of duty, to support their children to build a future, which was, of course, shattered by the killing of their breadwinners. I want to acknowledge the social media community and influencers who raised 42,000 for this cause. To date, the Subset Fund have assisted 1,718 children countrywide, of which 146 of them have matriculated and 54 have graduated with diplomas and degrees. This is a powerful legacy of our service and sacrifice. To all our men and women in blue, remain steadfast, remain courageous, and remain loyal to the oath of office. Together we'll continue to protect South Africa and dismantle criminal networks and honor the memories of those that gave their lives for this mission. And let's hunt those that are still on the run, including the Moyo criminal. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, National Commissioner General Masimula, for taking us through that official media statement for today. We'll then afford this opportunity to members of the media to pose questions if there are any. I'm noting the hand 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 hands for this round. National Commissioner, I will just request that they would just introduce themselves and then pose the question accordingly. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Criselda Lewis from SABC Television News. National Police Commissioner, on the issue relating to drugs, I see you speak about 285 million seized in KwaZulu-Natal from this batch that is going to be destroyed today. From the analysis that you've been doing as the South African police, does this imply that KwaZulu-Natal is the drugs capital? Or I'm sure when you do your analysis, you try to establish where the problem is in the country at most when it comes to drugs. Does this 285 million seized of this particular that's been destroyed today give us that indication at all? And the scourge of drugs, how much of a problem, maybe explain to South Africans, how much of a problem is this in our communities? And perhaps I could off-ramp just a little bit as well, National Police Commissioner. On Tuesday, General Shadrack Sibiya, whom you'd asked to stay at home pending investigations following the allegations by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. He's taking you to court. He says he wants the court to overturn the decision that you made, because the decision that you made is basically procedurally flawed. I'd like your comment on that, please. I know it's still before the courts, but you certainly seem to be headed for a head-to-head with him in court. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Chanela Zogo from Kai News. Commissioner, I would just like to get your comment. Just recently, Commissioner KZN Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi spoke about how unions who are asking for higher increases for police members is really contributing to the police force not being able to hire more police. Is that a case? Are there financial constraints? Are you getting enough money from national? Can I start your take on that?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello.
Okay.
Just to proceed to 4, or must we
All right.
take the
No,
2?
Proceed.
Okay.
Proceed. Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe let's just respond and then we'll take the next 2 after the second round. Okay, Jemba, we'll just answer those 2 then from Griselda and
All right. Thanks very much, Griselda. Drugs is a problem for the whole of the country, not necessarily that only KwaZulu-Natal. The destination mostly is Gauteng for drugs, while they come via land ports. They also come via our international airports, and to an extent, majority also come through the seaports, which all our harbors in this country. So, and it get processed in different places, but Gauteng seems to be the hub. Even those of KZN, they all end up in Gauteng and processed and then redistributed. So, not necessarily that KwaZulu-Natal is the capital, no. Even Western Cape, there's a lot of drugs that come via the sea through Western Cape, processed and then distributed to the country. In terms of how much is a drug problem in the country, you can see, Griselda, that most of the places in our townships, in towns, in villages, there are quite a number of drugs that have been sold there. Some of these drugs might not necessarily be those that are well known, Mandrex and whatever, but it will be your Nyaupes and so on, which some of the precursors for those are easily things you can find at home, because they mix quite a lot of things. So one doesn't want to get in there because we'll be teaching others on how to do it. So it's precursors that normally they are not illegal stuff. If you find, for example, one of the precursors for the methacolone and whatever get imported, it can be used for good cause, but well, if it mixed with other things, then it end up making drugs. So drug is a problem for the country. Yes, we need to fight this fight together with the community to make sure that we deal mostly with the syndicates, which I think for now we are on the right track in terms of not necessarily dealing with the person on the street who's having 5 tablets of Mandrex in the pocket, but we are slowly getting to those that are manufacturing, those that are distributing. We are getting to the cartels, and if we deal with that, we would have dealt with the whole problem, because dealing with those that have 3 tablets, it will not assist us, because they'll just always find another one on the street to go and sell for him or her. On the matter of General Sibia, well, you have seen what you have seen on social media and what you are writing about, and so one doesn't want to comment, because what you see there is obviously, I'm sure his affidavit and my affidavit. It's not yet ventilated. It will be ventilated at court. So let's not create another platform to adjudicate on it here now on the street. Let it be adjudicated there at court, at the right place where it's supposed to happen. On the on the question of more money, well, it is a well-known fact that the budget we are getting is not sufficient for to be able to police the country as a whole. But we cannot always cry for that we don't have a budget. I mean, with what we have, we are optimizing and making sure that we're doing our best. We will, of course, want to have more. We will, of course, want to have more police, so that when we talk of visibility, we can cover each and every street. But unfortunately, I don't think the whole world is a country that have a police on each street. But that's why we work based on where is the crime happening. If a specific area is identified a hotspot, that's where then we'll move along in terms of the crime pattern. So, but yes, we'd love to have a little bit more so that we can increase resources. And of course, a lot of satellite police stations that are there that we would love to make them fully fledged police station, because they can't remain satellite forever as if the community that is there is in transit. You know, the community will go nowhere, so we must just establish a fully fledged police station in those areas. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Additional Commissioner, for those responses to those two questions. We're going to take the next two hands that we identified earlier on in that
Hi
order.
everyone, Nabila Sheikh from ENCA. Commissioner, we're hearing a lot about the thousands and thousands of arrests that are always being made during Operation Chanela, part 1 and now part 2. But how is it that South Africans are still living in fear? And how is it that we see these thousands and thousands of arrests, but a lot of the time we don't actually see those arrests translating into proper convictions? So a large number of arrests, but we don't really see the convictions coming out of that. Second question is about Operation Dudula. When we saw the blocking of access at our healthcare facilities, at the very beginning, we've been covering this from the start, we saw minimal presence of Saps. Now we are seeing Saps and public order policing being at some of these scenes more often. What is the plan? Is there a plan? Because we've been told that there's now a unit within public order policing that's been mandated to deal with this. Can you just expand on that and the stance that Saps is taking when it comes to blocking access to our public health facilities? And then I think finally on the issue of gender-based violence, what more is being done? I mean, Women's Month, we've heard so many more cases that have happened with regards to gender-based violence. We've had the horrific case in El Dorado Park of the 4-year-old girl that died as well, and there were allegations of delays in police with regards to action being taken in that case. What more is being done? It's all great to hear the convictions that are coming out and the sentences, but what more is being done to deal with the onslaught that we are seeing against women and children in this country?
Okay, thanks, Nabila. With regard to arrest on Operation Chanela, the justice system doesn't work, in our country does not work like you arrest somebody today, is sentenced tomorrow. There's quite a lot of processes that they has to go through. After arrest, people apply for bail, they're on bail, and investigation is finalized, and then the trial takes sometimes years to finalize. So it's not as quick as possible like in other countries, unfortunately. We would have loved that it be like that, but unfortunately it is not the case. But I'm sure you are aware that the Department of Corrections, they will tell you that they are overpopulated with a lot of people that are in prison. And majority of their people are lifers. They are people saving lives. And for somebody to save life, it tells you that the police have done quite a splendid job. And most of those that are saving life are GBV related, which means that our Family Violence and Child Protection Unit is doing quite good work. Yes, we agree we don't have the sufficient number that we want, hence we are advertising extra posts. We are going to fill that. But we are doing our best, and the people that are there have been arrested by the very same department or law enforcement. So unfortunately, we can't arrest them today, they get sentenced tomorrow. But they are still getting processed through the justice system value chain. On Operation Dudula, we don't have a unit specifically to deal with Dudula. We have public order police unit countrywide, and public order police's job is to do crowd management. So wherever there are problems, they do go out and assist. They cannot go and wait at a clinic in case there is a problem. They've got a lot of other works to do, but as and when we have an indication that there will be problem, we will of course respond to those health institutions where there are problems, but it's not a specific unit to solely deal with that. It's a unit that deals with any other crowd management and or protest, as you know, countrywide. On GBV, I'm going to ask General Sintumule just to add there, but in GBV, as you are aware, currently we are on a 90-day blitz as government, where we are focusing more in terms of those that are wanted for the GBV-related crimes. We went out, the FCS unit goes out and make sure we arrest them. In terms of response, well, our response to various crimes will always differ depending from scene to scene. It will surely not be exactly the same. Resources of police stations are not the same, and so we unfortunately cannot say they will always be the same. We regret where there are mishaps, where police were a bit late to respond and or whatever, but at the end of the day we do respond to all these calls, be it a GBV and or any other crime, and we treat those crimes with the sensitivity and seriousness that it deserves. We make sure that everything is done, what is required to be done on the crime scene. We do prioritize it. But let me ask General Sintumule to add on that.
Thank you very much, NATCOM. Good afternoon to members of the media. I think NATCOM gave a process that it takes for us to actually get to the court and ensure that we get convictions. So I won't repeat what he said. And also on the issue of the 90-day focus, I want to say that it doesn't mean our focus is only intensified in the 90 days. Every day in South Africa is for us a critical day for us to be able to curb and also counter any threats against women and children. I'm just going to give you a breakdown of our successes in relation to GBV, and I'm going to cover the period 1 April 2024 to 31st March 2025. In relation to convictions, which also indicate the hard work our members put for us to be able to place those cases before court. In that period, we were able to achieve 604 sentences, and those led to life imprisonment of our offenders. And in the same period again, I think 350 offenders were sentenced to 20 years and more. 735 offenders were sentenced to 10 to 19 years. And a total of 1,391 offenders were sentenced to 1 to 9 years. And I mean, you can see this is just within the period of a year. So with more resources, as NATCOM says, I am sure that we can achieve more. We take gender-based violence seriously. Hence, I'm saying that it doesn't mean that the 90-day actually is more significant than the entire year. But as the Saps, we actually deploying all our resources to ensure that we counter the scourge of GBV. Thank you, NATCOM.
Thank you very much, National Commissioner, for those responses, and for General Sintumule for amplifying on the specific question around GBVF. Those convictions are part and parcel of the NATCOM's address as well, as we have circulated through our WhatsApp media platforms. Let's take your questions, sir. Been waiting. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Good morning, General, and the rest of the team. Breaking from Netwerk 24. General, I just want to check with you, in terms of this multi-billion rand industry, the drug trade in the country, are most of the drugs being imported, and from which continent are they coming in? And then my second question would be, you have an acting police commissioner, Prof. Pachalia as well. Have you been able to sit down with him? What are his sentiments? What are some of those pressing issues that he told you attend to? Yeah, that's a few questions from me. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks. To start with the last one, yeah, we met with the acting Minister of Police, and of course the priorities of the country we have briefed him on. Firstly, of course, is the organized crime that is troubling the country, and in the areas where we have it, mostly Gauteng, Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, to an extent Eastern Cape. We have briefed him on that problem, briefed him on the issue around the problem of drugs and drug cartels that we are dealing with. And of course, murders is a problem in the country, especially in the 4 provinces, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Eastern Cape, and Western Cape. Murders is a problem, of which these murders some are related to your organized crime, some are hit murders, some are also political related, and you have your gang related murders in this province of Gauteng, as well as Western Cape and Eastern Cape. And we have seen now in Eastern Cape 2 prosecutors have been killed, which is sort of hit related. And so those are the priorities that we have briefed him on: gangsterism and drugs, everything. We have briefed him on those priorities, and he is in support that we align and fight those crimes in that category that I've mentioned. In terms of where drugs are coming from, most of the drugs are coming from South America and the Asian countries. So that is the routes that we have identified. They come in various forms: sea, air, and land, or some from Asia, they come through sea up to some of our African countries, upper north, and from there they come via land ports and seaports down to our province. So we do have cooperation with those countries in terms of sharing intelligence. Hence, we are able to pick up some of them as they arrive, or those that end up going into those countries. So, yeah, basically that is it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, General, for responding to the questions from Network Firentwinter. Are there any other questions, or we draw to one more? Let's give this one more. Just one more, General, then we'll be
Okay, Mungi Zikova here from EWN. My question ties in with my colleague from Network Firentwinter around the relations that we have in terms of Interpol, perhaps the DEA, and identifying the ports of entry that might be weak. I mean, we oftentimes see where there's a drug mule found. It will be at the OR Tambo International Airport. But in terms of identifying these hotspots, in terms of ports of entry, have we made any progress in that regard? And then do we have any relationships established with Interpol to try and further or bolster our prevention methods? And then just the final one, NATCOM, is around the matter of General Mkhwana's. My colleague brought in the question of having a conversation with the acting police minister. But then hearing the sentiments that have to be shared by Mkhwana's, some of the allegations, has there been a meeting established, or will it only be done once maybe you're called to the Madlanga Commission? Have you been called to the Commission? Would you be willing to have to provide testimony at the Commission? I think that's basically my 2 questions around the drugs and around the Mkhwana's matter.
Okay, thank you very much. Over to
Thanks.
you.
Yeah, with regard to relations and which port of entries, as I said, most your seaports are the most problematic in terms of drugs coming to the country. And of course, the airports, your OR Tambo, Cape Town, and Kinshasa are the most in terms of airports. And of course, the land ports that are on the northern part of the country, where you have more trucks that are moving there. That's basically how those trucks are coming in, and your harbors from Durban, Kucha, as well as the the Western Cape. That's most of the seaports where these trucks are coming from. But as I said, it's mostly your South America and your Asian countries. The Asian countries, mostly they don't come directly from there to this country. They come via our northern part of Africa in those countries, and from there they come via route to South Africa. Relations, yes, we do have. Despite meeting during Interpol, we always have our intelligence sharing with those countries. And as you're going to have Interpol, it is an opportunity again that we strengthen those relations with those countries so that we can be able to assist one another, because we are all in this problem together. On the issue of the commission, yes, the commission is, you heard that it's going to start soon, and we'll wait the call. Probably we are called, then we will go. We won't be hesitant to go. So that's basically where we are. Thank you.
Okay. Then we come to the end, General, of this media briefing. We will then be proceeding to the site. I would request General Sentimule, through you, National Commissioner, just to take us through what is going to be happening there. General Sentimule.
Thank you very much, General Pokane. From here, we're going to move to the site of the destruction. We are going to be led by our forensic science laboratory experts, who are going to ask that we all have PPEs before we enter into the site for our own protection, because I think the chemicals used there also can be detrimental to your own health. However, also they will explain to you the value chain of what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, but the NATCOM will be the one who will take leadership in terms of breaking the seals of those drugs earmarked for destruction. Thank you, General Pokane.
Thank you very much, General Sentimule, thank you, National Commissioner, and the generals that are seated on the left-hand side of the NATCOM for attending this media briefing. Members of the media, we value your support, and we're now going to be moving straight to site as per what General Sentimule has directed us. And then if there is any, we will then be obviously responding to those requests if they come. But may we all move to the site as directed. Thank you very much. The media colleagues staying here while the principal.
All the time.
No stress, no stress.
And afterwards,